quiet seaside town, an evil lain to rest centuries ago, has risen. An abandoned fortress deep in the swamp holds a secret that could save the village or destroy it. Now, a band of adventurers sets out to dig up the wounds of the past and bring the light of day to the roots of ruin. This is Tabletop Gold.
Hello, friends, and welcome to Tabletop Gold, The Roots of Ruin. This is episode 140-something. My name is Lars Casteen. Welcome to the show. I'm glad to have you here. I'm joined today, as always, by Robin Lange.
Good that time, friends.
And Ahmed Humphreys is here.
Good that time. Happy to be here.
Yep. David the Tin Man Chernicoff is here.
Good 140-something that time.
And Zoe Chernicoff is here also.
Ditto.
Oh.
We're going to play we're going to continue on our adventure in Pathfinder 2nd edition. But before that, guess what? It's the last week of March. That means it's time for us to do the finals of this year's March tournament. David Chernicoff, as the Starch Master, what do you have to say for yourself?
I'm just incandescent with excitement. I have not been able to think about anything else today except starch, which means, dear listeners, that it is a day that ends in Y, because that's pretty much what would be going on with me.
Always
anyway,
hungry.
This is just a helpful way to kind of channel that starch fever into something that I think we can all agree is incredibly productive. And that is working with this lovely crew of 4 individuals to identify the ultimate starch.
Wow.
Y'all, yesterday, people listening, yesterday at my school, we had mashed potatoes as a side with lunch, and they are the perfect mashed potatoes. And I actually had to take a picture and send it to the whole crew here.
They were buttery. We initially thought they were potato salad.
Yeah, I didn't know if the picture was like, look at this disgusting thing or look at this wonderful thing, because starches don't photograph well.
They really don't.
They're not the most photogenic of foods.
They don't tend to.
So delicious.
It really was a perfect Rorschach, because the photo itself, one did not know whether to encode it as like appetizing or revolting. It needed framing. Like it was just like, someone needs to tell me whether to salivate over this or not. And then as soon as you knew, it was like, yeah, of course that's delicious.
I should have taken a photo of it with the vegetarian meatloaf and the sautéed greens, and then it would have been like, you would have seen the perfect plate.
Right.
That does sound good.
Now, this is in starch contrast to the photo
Stop it.
that Robin sent earlier in the week of you baked an incredible bundt cake.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, of course I had to
That
make a
was.
bundt cake.
I didn't know what that was. I don't know what anything that Robin sends us is. Robin sent I bet you can't guess what kind of cake I made. And then she sent a picture. And I was like, I don't know what kind of cake this is.
Bundt cake. Got nothing bundt cake in my house.
Well, now I get it. I just didn't know at the time that was a bundt cake.
Next
I
time
love
I
the
should
idea
make it
that
with
Lars
little kobolds in it.
Lars just has like the Discord thing on that automatically masks every image that comes in as not safe for work. Like he's like, oh, it's from Robin. I probably shouldn't click on it.
I should not look at this. I won't even know what it is anyway.
Think we could get a new, king cake where you hide the little baby Jesus in it. Let's get a kobold cake going. You hide a couple of kobolds in there.
I need some kobold minis
Yeah.
and my bundt pan, and I will make it happen.
All right.
Wherever will we find miniature versions of kobolds? That has to be impossible to find.
I'm sure Amazon doesn't sell them.
Potential future sponsor, Hero Forge. Like,
There it is.
surely.
Yeah, I don't happen to work right across the street from one of the Hexen Co's in New York City.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think all of the Hero Forge minifigs are baking safe or just some?
We should send them an email. We should ask.
Yeah.
And we should ask in exactly that way.
Yeah.
And when we send that email, we should also ask them what they feel to be the ultimate starch.
Okay, let's do it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Just get into it.
To briefly reset, I think everyone here remembers what this incredible Apex matchup is that we are working through today.
Yeah.
It is the Clash of the Titans. It is pasta with your with your choice of sauce versus French fries. And who's ready to get us started?
I'm happy to get us started
I
because
had a feeling.
I have less nuance in what it is that I'm about to say than I think anybody else is going to have to say in this competition. And here it comes. I don't really like French fries.
Whoa.
I don't really like them.
After
like,
all
I'll
this,
eat
tater
them.
tots or French fries?
Well, that was a tactical argument that I made at the time that I needed to make. In hindsight, should I have voted for tater tots? Maybe. I don't know.
Who can say?
Who can say?
So
But yeah,
I'm in kind of a host role here, which means like I'm trying to keep things relatively neutral and
sure.
guide the conversation. Obviously, have I tipped my hand a little bit about how I feel about some of these foods in the past? Sure. But I will try to, I'm just going to stick to like objective, factual inquiry here.
Yeah.
So my question in response to that, Lars, would be, are you aware that this is being recorded?
Yeah, and that's the thing. I know I'm going to make some people mad. I realize that, I'm going to get some heat for this, which is something that French fries could use a little bit more of, if you ask me. Those things get cold immediately, and I don't like it.
Not good at takeout.
Yeah. And you roll the dice every time you get French fries. This is something I suggested earlier on in the competition in the tournament. That it's like you don't know what you're going to get. Sometimes I'm really happy with French fries. A lot of the time I'm not. I just don't really like them that much. Like going back to this conversation about the Nighthawk Theater, about how like I liked the tater tots at the Nighthawk. I always get popcorn when I go to this theater, and I love it. And then you order like a sandwich, and they always bring French fries with it. And by the time those French fries come around, I'm just like, fuck off. Like, I just want to eat popcorn. I just want more popcorn.
The king of starches is popcorn.
For me,
popcorn not end up
that's
in
the
this.
best starch.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
popcorn would take this in a landslide.
Oh my God. How did we... Popcorn wasn't even on the long...
It wasn't
wrong with
not
us. What's
even-
wrong with us?
It
Not even the
immediately fits
selection
my
committee.
criteria if you pour melted butter on it. I'm sold.
It is actually the perfect distillation of the entire conversation we've been having about this all month.
So is the winner then of spaghetti versus French fries popcorn?
I mean, I'll let David make the choice as to whether that's something that... Do we want to turn this into a triple threat match? Is this going to be like a pro wrestling championship match?
It's not even a contest.
I spend so much of my life preparing for things, trying to look ahead into the future.
Yeah.
In order to avoid situations exactly like this,
I'm sorry.
where just a little bit more thought up front, and you don't get to the end of a month-long thing and realize, oh, no, the best starch, you just didn't have it on the long list. You just completely... Okay, well, anyway.
The nature of the design process.
I guess maybe we should just introduce it as another, I don't know, pasta with your choice of sauce, French fries, or off the top rope. Maybe it had a bye through the first 3 rounds.
That's right. That's right.
Lars, appreciate your kicking us off and opening this epiphany. Who's next? Like, I don't want to call anyone or put anyone on the spot. Who feels like you have
Can I vote?
Oh, yes, please.
Between those 3, I go pasta. Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Pasta for popcorn. Interesting.
Yeah. No, I love pasta.
Well, Lars doesn't like foods that cool off quickly and then are less good to eat. So that's why he loves pasta, I guess. All right. Robin, Armat,
Yeah.
Zoe, what do you think?
So when I was in grad school in England, there was a comedy hypnotism show. And I
The
somehow
only kind there is.
became one of the people who came up to, one of the volunteers to go up and be hypnotized. and through the process, he then convinced us all we were contestants on the British version of Shark Tank, and we had to bring in our inventions. My hypnotized ass, slightly drunk, immediately went to, what is my favorite thing in the world and how can I make it better?
Oh.
And I pulled out, my in this hypnotism kind of improv session, introduced to the world the pocket French fryer.
Ooh.
Because I love French fries so much that in my imagination, I created a small, portable deep fryer so that I could always have French fries with me.
And this is just rattling around your unconscious.
Yes.
It's just in there.
I mean, it did eventually catch on fire.
Right and left. Yeah.
Imaginary catch on fire.
Yeah, there's a reason why. Yeah.
I was so excited by the idea of always having French fries with me that this was the invention that came up in my hypnotized drunken brain. So, long story short, French fries are the perfect food. Lars is wrong. And French fries should win. They are the best, not only the best starch, but just the best food. Case closed.
All right. So a second vote for popcorn. Zoe, Armat, who's up?
Zoe, I defer to you because I'm really facing a moral crisis here.
Sure. I know. I have a clear ranking among the three. If we're just sticking with the original two, the ranking there will be clear. For me, it comes down to setting aside popcorn, which is going to win here for me because it's the perfect starch and you can cover it in butter. So I just don't have anything more to say there. Fun fact, if we're doing anecdotal stories, David and I had a popcorn maker at our wedding, and a wedding guest relayed to us later that our day of wedding planner at one point was heard sort of baffled speaking to one of her employees going, you would think the theme of this wedding was popcorn, which I feel like about summarizes it. We're a big popcorn family. So popcorn's on the top, but between the two contenders that we came into here to debate, I have this what makes me feel really warm and good and comfortable and happy at the end of eating it, and that's pasta for me. And I'm a goopy foods person. I like a French fry, okay, but it's a bowl of pasta for me every time.
Okay.
So what does that mean? Your vote is popcorn, though? Are we doing popcorn?
My rank, if we were doing ranked choice voting, I would go popcorn, pasta, French fries.
I think this is a bit of a flail, because I think popcorn is a snack, not a starch, right? I mean, it is starch, but when we say starch, don't we kind of mean like a starch, not like popcorn? You know what I'm saying?
But if you're putting popcorn on the ballot, people need to be able to vote for it. Are we withdrawing popcorn from we need some starch clarity. We need some clarified.
Oh, this is why you prepare.
I feel like we should settle for the listeners the question they came here to hear, which is pasta versus French fries.
Yes, and let's settle pasta versus French fries. Thank you, dear.
Okay.
Where would I be without you? I just honestly curled
Eating
up in the fetal
popcorn.
position on the side of the road.
In pro wrestling terms, what just happened is popcorn ran down the ramp to enter this match and then was immediately disqualified. They then restarted the match with the original two competitors, and the crowd went nuts because they were so worried that popcorn, this heel starch, was going to run in and steal the whole thing. So
Oh my God.
I'm glad that happened.
I love
heel
it.
starch. We didn't consider heel starch at all.
Okay, stop it. Get out of here. Armat.
Armat, what is your vote?
I really want to say French fries, but it's pasta. Come on. How do I say no to pasta, man?
Wow.
I agree with Lars's take. Sometimes I'm oh, these French fries look great, but like a solid
They're always
40% of the
good.
time, I'm disappointed
I will
by
take
them.
all of your French fries. Bad
That's
French
good.
fries are
Bad
still better than
pasta.
bad pasta.
No, disagree.
But like,
There's some pasta that's unedible. I've never had an unedible
That's
French fry.
very true. That's very true. Pasta
Yeah,
can be quite dire.
Well, I'm
Believe that.
moderating, so please, Armat, finish, and then I'll.
also popcorn would not have changed my votes at all. It would go pasta, French fries, popcorn.
Okay.
Same.
It's been really interesting to know that learn that you guys have such very different takes on food than I do, which is cool. And I'm glad we have that sort of
We'd share well
concordance
if
of
we were in a
different
house full of
flavors.
snacks. Everyone could get their own,
Exactly.
you know?
Oh, I love
Exactly.
Yeah, as long as there were no leafy greens around, we would be fine.
Yes.
Here's something that's fascinating. My vote would be for French fries. I love pasta, so this is no shade at pasta. It's just pasta's not French fries. French fries are incredible. French fries are. It's staggering that a food that good exists. What I find fascinating about this is that we have anointed pasta over French fries on the basis that sometimes there are bad French fries, without then completing the sentence. The implication is, but there's never bad pasta. There's like absolutely bad pasta. It's so weird to be like, well, this one thing has a bad version. I'm not even going to evaluate the other on the same basis. So this one wins. What a bizarre. I thought I knew you people, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
feel like
David, I've never loved you more than this moment.
I love you too.
I feel like the average pasta is better than the average French fry. Like yes,
Oh,
there can
hard
be
to
really
disagree.
bad or overcooked, but like a meh French fry to me, like a box of store-bought Barilla spaghetti is going to turn out pretty delicious if you pay a little bit of attention when you cook it and then put whatever your sauce of choice is on it.
I'm absolutely sensitive to the argument that the average pasta preparation is better than the average French fry preparation. I'm not sure I agree with it.
Sure.
But at least we're now averaging, but we're apples to apples. We're starches to starches. We're not just kind of being like, well, the good version of this is way better than the bad version of that. So obviously,
but David,
go on.
language is a tool that we use to communicate ideas. It is not a
Disagree.
thing
Go on.
unto itself. What I was trying to do with my argument was share a description of a deep feeling that I have in my soul.
Which I
Maybe
reject.
my
Go on.
words weren't perfect. Maybe I didn't balance every part of an argument against each other. You know what I mean? But I
Yes.
looked inward, and
I don't care, but I know
and
you
what
mean.
I saw was a big old bowl of pasta, and I had to share that with you in a way that illustrates some of the feelings that I have about it. I'm not saying it's a logical argument. I'm just saying that's what this heart pumps red marinara sauce all over this body.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, you sound like my husband.
And also I had to do it for Chris. Chris paid me off.
I believe it. Oh my gosh, he paid all of you off. I bet that's it.
Lars did tell us earlier today that his vote was for sale. I did not expect heel starch Chris to enter and buy Lars'
Chris from
vote.
Astoria.
Heel
right, well,
starch, Chris.
Lars,
That's his new name. He'll start Chris.
heel starch Chris.
I can't wait to pull that one out in an argument.
All right. Well, everyone, thank you for weighing in.
Thank you, David.
Should we
what
give
a
a
great
round of
turn
applause?
this has been.
for
Yes.
Pasta and David?
Absolutely.
For all of us.
Begrudgingly applaud Pasta.
Popcorn.
All of us. Pasta has been crowned the ultimate starch according to the cast and crew of Tabletop Gold. Listeners, thank you so much for joining us on this journey, this 115 hours of content this March about starches. And we will be back for a new bracket next year. I suspect next year Patreon subscribers will have a chance to help us navigate what the bracket should be about, so we aren't just conjuring it for ourselves each year. Now that we have the ability to poll our subscribers and get their
And it's
takes
never
on
too early to
ideas.
get into Patreon and incessantly hammer the thing that you want us to cover. Because if you start now, you've got better odds.
I'm glad you asked, Zoe. You visit tabletopgold.com and you click the button at the top of the site that says Patreon. And you can also find us at patreon.com/tabletopgold to become a member.
David, thank you so much. Happy March, everybody. We really did it. We really, everybody wins. Let's play our game.
Including pasta.
Your exploration of the Abomination vaults has granted you a steady stream of information about the underground fortress's visionary founder, Belcora Haravex. Let's go over some of those details. You've learned that Belcora was raised in a prominent aristocratic family in Absalom around 500 years ago, and that family was shunned by the city's upper class and law enforcement when it was discovered that they were holding onto power by ritualistically sacrificing the city's innocent residents to gain favor with an assortment of strange, eldritch gods. You've learned that Belcora blames the city of Absalom itself for growing up in the relative squalor she endured afterwards, that she watched members of her family die in poverty during her adolescence. You've learned that Belcora was granted visions by the elder god Nimbaloth that drew her to this location, a site of great power, and that she built the magical lighthouse here and dug deep, deep underground to connect that lighthouse directly to Nimbaloth's void energy. You've learned that Belcora then filled this fortress with horrifying abominations, with the eventual goal of using the magical energy here to transport them onto Absalom's streets, as well as raising the city's dead into an undead army. You've learned that her plans were interrupted when a group of adventurers from Absalom called the Rose Guard defeated her 477 years ago. And finally, you've learned that Belcora rose as a ghost 500 years after her family was ejected from Absalom, and she is working somewhere deep below here, using her undeath to complete her goal of exploiting Nimbaloth's power to settle her centuries-old grudge. And while you've learned these many things about Belcora, for you, she has existed mostly as a memory, someone you have heard stories of, someone whose ongoing existence is something you take on faith. You've never set eyes upon her until now. Here on the 7th floor, in a cramped ritual chamber connected to a room inhabited by an otherworldly worshiper of Nimbaloth, Mag has just gazed into a bowl, and somehow Belcora has gazed back at Mag from a reflection in the water. And as you saw Belcora and noted her presence, she saw you and noted yours. She sees you now, and she knows you are coming for her.
Uh-oh.
You're goddamn right I am.
She kind of seems sympathetic there. Should we try to make an impression?
Totally agree.
Yeah.
I want to, before she gets whacked in the mental by all this damage, does Mag have a chance to sense motive? I just want to make sure, you know.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead and give me a perception check, dude.
Yeah. Because, like, I don't want to be rushing to judgment,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Everyone's
Okay.
got their own story to tell.
Thank you.
What did you get on your perception check?
22.
She hates you.
It's pretty straightforward there.
I'm going to use a hero point.
Okay, so what just happened is Mag has 41 points of mental damage coming her way. But that is all contingent upon a basic will save.
Oh.
So, David,
okay.
I need you to make a will save. Will is not a good save for our friend Magdaruna Lacewing Skullcrusher, if I recall correctly.
You recall correctly. It is slightly better than it was, like, what, an episode
like
ago?
an hour ago?
Yeah, an hour ago.
Yeah.
Because
Well-
of that resilient armor that we unearthed, and
That
that
was
Mag
lucky.
put on
Oh, yeah.
a little bit of a hit to AC, but boosts to the saves. So
Maybe
that's
that will be the difference maker. Let's see how Mag is able to withstand the mental anguish from the ghost of Belcora Haravex looking her straight in the eye before her reflection fades away from this bowl.
$24.
Okay. If you weren't wearing that new armor, that would have been a critical failure.
Oh my
She's
so mean.
That's awesome.
Failure.
She's so evil.
As is, you will take all 41 points of that mental damage,
Wow.
and Mag is now stupefied 1 as her brain fogs up, reeling from the experience of seeing Belcora and being seen by Belcora.
So I imagine she's reached onto the desk with one hand and just tipped the bowl slightly toward herself so that she can look into it. And when there's this flash of this face, she absolutely must know who this is. She's tipped it toward herself so much that when she releases it, the bowl clatters back the other way, back onto the desktop. And with a glazed look in her eyes, she says, Belcora. And all of the parts of her that would typically glow when she rages, her braid, her hand, her eyes, the tattoos across her shoulders, they don't glow rage red, but there's a little bit of a emanation of light from them, like embers in a dying fire.
More of like a stupefied pink.
Yes. Oh my God. Pantone color of the year last year.
Yeah.
Stupefied
pink.
So the three of you who are outside of this chamber at this point, Ao, Trill, and Istin are all investigating various strange objects they found in this room, and they see this reaction from Mag, and they hear the bowl crash onto the floor. So
I picture this scene as though it's a kind of like mummy movie almost. Like they're in the tomb investigating things, and Trill's like I can't remember. I've now forgotten what she picked up. Which thing? It
Yeah,
was.
I'll tell you,
the thing
you
with
picked
the
up
teeth.
it's a
The
strange
stone, right?
Yeah, it's like a gem.
So
that
she's like holding that gem up. She's kind of trying to hold it like at an angle against the light coming from Istin that she's cast on him. And she hears this kind of not quite clatter because it was not. You didn't drop on the floor. You just dropped it back in place, right?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Like the
But
bottom rim of it maybe rolling
Yeah.
around a little on the table.
And this
yeah.
sudden gesture, and she just looks over at Mag and notice Mag looking kind of that slightly glazed look in her eye of the stupefied.
Oh.
She's like, are you okay?
Belcora. I saw her. She spoke to me. Her face in the bowl.
Wait, she's in the... And she'll like jump, like gets as high up as she can to try and look back into the bowl now.
And as she does, Mag, one arm reaches out reflexively to push Trill away from the bowl, and the other, she uses the Earthbreaker to push the bowl toward the back edge of the toward the table. She just reflexively kind of like...
She's protecting Trill.
Yeah. Yes,
And I
that's
think-
the one. Protecting.
Istin hears this and stops looking at Lars. Remind me, what did he pick up? Which object?
The
You
creepy
picked
one.
up a macabre spike that has
Oh, yeah.
Ears?
7 severed ears impaled
That's
upon it.
right.
7
Dolph
severed
Lundgren in
ears.
Universal
7
Soldier.
Severed ears.
Yeah, I think Istin will be like, "Ah!" and she's in the bowl, and like is raising his staff as though he's ready to strike inside the bowl.
Her image, at least, says Mag.
Oh, right.
So Trill is investigating with occultism in addition to identifying this object. Robin, can I have an occultism check, a blind occultism check from you, please?
Sure. I love occultism checks.
Okay. So based on Trill's occultism investigation, it seems likely to Trill that this room and this bowl specifically, the purpose of them is for communication with Belcora Haravex. The resident of this room, this wisp, used this room for direct, like a walkie-talkie with Belcora.
It's like a little seance room.
The way
Yeah.
you were setting that up, I wasn't sure like if I was going to believe what you said. I was like, oh God, did I end up rolling a 1? But that is believable. Do
And
I
that's
know
the
if it's
game.
true? I don't know.
Trill believes it's true. Robin
Trill
might
be-
not believe it's true, but Trill believes it.
Trill believes it.
I just want to lay out some information, though. You got into this room by going through a secret door in this barracks that was protected by a trap. You also got into this room when you were here before to face Asand Kalir through a secret door in Asand Kalir's bedroom.
This feels like a pretty private area then.
There's
Pretty
no
secret.
This one
unsecret door
hallway.
in here. Yeah.
Yeah. This one hallway, this L-shaped hallway that you went through to get in here is the only hallway that does not feature any infernal script. This is the one dark hallway on this floor. Everything else is dim red light.
Okay.
And then the last piece of information that I want to throw out there in case it's something you want to consider is that there is a secret passage from this room into one of those stasis chambers a short ways away.
Remember that.
So
Maybe it was a way for the wisp to keep an eye on everything going on and, report back to Belcora on its own Kalir and, Euravian and his devils.
Oh, she's
And-
gonna be so pissed at us.
Yeah, quite probably, I imagine.
So the wisp that was in here could float in to the unoccupied cell in the room adjacent and monitor what had been brought in and suspended there almost as an inventory of the weaponry available to Belcora.
I think so. Mostly like if by weaponry you mean the creatures she's got stored here. Absolutely. And you could be right about what Barkenbuck was making too. But I think as Istin is doing this, he's noticed that Mag has been actually quite injured.
And I think part of the reason Mag's injury is going unaddressed or undernoticed is if anyone were looking over at Ao, which why would you? Because Belcora has just appeared in a bowl. The hackles are up on her neck, like the moment she hears her name and realizes she's appeared. And she's just sort of very quietly in that like menacing way when dogs like really think something's up, is just like growling. And her features are like a little bit flickering to imitate Belcora's features. So like an eye sort of turns into Belcora's eye. And she's just sort of like staring through the doorway at the bowl, like hypothetically a dog would with a possum in your backyard in the middle of the night for literally no reason.
Who among us has not
imagine.
experienced that?
Has not had that wake them up at 2 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Infernal said, Ew, I think you should take a look at Mag.
Yeah. Mag, what did she say to you? Ao says, not really taking a look at Mag.
Yes. Question for Lars.
Sure.
What did she say to me? I actually don't
She
remember.
said nothing. It was a look of recognition, a shock to your nervous system, and then she disappeared. That's it.
She just gave you the stink eye.
She gave you the stink eye.
You're suffering from stink eye-itis.
Yes. The
Hideous disease.
Truly. Fabled Haravex stink eye.
And David,
Yes.
as Mag is responding, it's right around now that your stupefied condition fades.
And as Ao comes to, she starts sort of absentmindedly wrapping gauze around Mag, clearly best suited for fixing mental damage, and goes to treat wounds.
I like the idea that it's in all the wrong spots that she's putting it.
Right.
Yes.
Very carefully wrapping her wrist.
And the familiarity of this, of seeing Ao kind of haphazardly applying gauze regardless of the underlying ailment helps to cheer Mag some. It helps to bring her back to herself some. There's a recognition and an association with this is what happens, and afterwards you feel better, and some of that comfort starts to seep in and pierce this difficulty. Let's say roughly 1841st worth.
I was going to say,
Wow.
what better way to heal mental damage than with a placebo effect?
So well put.
So then we're getting another treat wounds from Ao as well. So we've
Yeah.
gotten two
And-
so
and-
far.
Did her eyes look like this? Ao says, and like one eye sort of starts to look like an imitation of Belcora.
Right. As Ao is helping Mag with this, Mag is giving little recollections of what the face looked like, the way you would to a sketch artist, to help Ao perfect the likeness.
So we know she's blonde and everything that goes along with that.
We found the fun
Everything
effigy.
that goes along with that. What does that
What
mean?
goes along with that?
Belcora is a
Oh,
terror.
blonde hair.
She'd like to
Blonde
see
eyebrows.
your devil's manager.
I don't know where I was going.
She's
with
going to
that.
take this
I
all the
think-
way down to Tartarus.
My issue, I think, because I always just picture her as very voluptuous, so it's like this very kind of 1940s Hollywood blonde.
Oh, this is great. Wait, how does everyone picture Belcora? So you're saying like what kind
Like
of
a
what kind of
Veronica Lake is, I think,
Mm.
like
Yeah.
what Robin's
yes.
describing.
I
Evil
was-
Veronica Lake.
I was getting like platinum Morticia Adams, like very straight hair.
Oh, interesting.
sort of-
That kind of works
severe-
as well, because still the hourglass figure.
I
But
never,
I picture much bigger, like, yeah.
yeah, I never noticed Morticia Adams's figure.
Sure. Straight in.
Just the hair part. No, yeah, and like sort of severe cut clothing, like very very contrasty.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little more in like Ice Queen Nicole Kidman mode, but I feel like that's just a different take.
I can see it. I have something that I'm imagining that I will not share right now.
Oh, no.
I have a strong inspiration for Belcora that I will be keeping under my hat. For
Is
now.
it a
Checks
lady
out.
made of pasta?
It's a lady made out of pasta. She's covered in pesto. I dream about her every night.
A lady made
I
of
can't stop dreaming about her.
a lady with noodles for hair and everything that comes with that.
So it looks like after 3 treat wounds, Ao has managed to patch Mag up all the way. And as things are starting to return to normal, Mag's head is clearing. This initial trauma of looking into this bowl is starting to sort of fade into memory. Let me tell you what it is that you found. Shall I? Yes, I shall.
You shall.
The item that Isthin found, this macabre item, is something called a gallows tooth. This is a talisman that attaches to a weapon, and you can activate it. When you make a melee strike against an adjacent creature, they become off guard against the strike and until the end of your turn. So if you need a back pocket off guard, there you go.
Well, that sounds like it is Ao's name written all over it.
And you know what? That's not what Isthin was looking at. That's what Ao was looking at. I'm an
Hey,
idiot.
we don't even have to exchange it.
Nice match.
I was like, where do the ears come into that?
Yeah, don't worry about it. I'm
Well,
doing
it's
my
very
best over here.
alarming. Wouldn't you be off guard if someone presented you with 7 ears?
The thing that Isthin actually found is something called a Grim Trophy.
That
This
makes sense.
talisman comes in many forms, most often a severed piece of a humanoid creature displayed in some gruesome manner. This is also a talisman. When you activate the trophy, make an intimidate check to demoralize up to 2 targets, comparing your intimidation check result to both of their DCs. And this gem that Trill is looking at, it turns out, is actually a wand that casts a spell called Scouting Eye. And what this spell does is it creates an invisible floating eye that you cast in a location that you can see 500 feet from you. It sees in all directions and transmits what it sees to you, and then you can sustain the spell to move the eye around and scout locations in front of you.
Oh, that's handy.
Wizard
Oh,
drone. I
this.
love it.
Trill
Sure
holds
is.
on to that. Can Trill use this wand? Is it a cult?
Yes, it's an occult spell. You could use it
Fabulous.
today if you wanted to.
Trill, put
Right
that,
now.
Is there space in her wig? Can she stick that in her wig? She'd like to put it in
Let's
her wig.
just say sure.
Fabulous.
Isthin will hand the Grim Trophy over to Ao, because she still has the Dread Striker feat, right? So, like, intimidated creatures are off guard to her. So, once you're done with that, whatever it is you have there, this might help as well.
Thanks, she says, still sort of absent-mindedly staring into the middle distance, and she tucks them into different pockets on her bandolier.
Isthin shrugs and says, I know it's not teeth, but, ears also gruesome and terrifying?
Teeth, she says, and she sort of fixes Isthin for a second. Mag?
Yeah, yes.
What were her teeth like? Were they shiny and perfect?
Can I answer that question for you, David?
I was about to do the Lars, I have a question for you bit. So yeah, absolutely. What are her teeth like?
Her teeth looked great. She has she clearly grew up with access to the finest dentistry of 500 years ago, but the finest dentistry in all of Galarian.
Wow. So much for this poor sob story, huh?
So Mag says, Mag's eyes look distant once again with the memory, and she whispers to Ao, "They looked perfect."
Ao's eyes narrow and she just nods thoughtfully.
Lars, if you had someone in particular in mind whose teeth they looked like, who would
No
it be?
comment.
All right.
No comment.
Okay.
So you tuck these items away, and what happens next, friends?
I mean, I hope nothing else comes out of that. Comes out of that bowl.
It's a
Should we
gug.
Should we dump the bowl of water out?
Yeah. I'm glad you asked. I've been wondering if we could dump it out. We could destroy it. We could take it with us.
We could put a drop of holy water in it and see if it explodes.
Shh. That sounds fun. I think everyone should stand around the corner this time.
I could use the mage hand to do that.
Right.
I was going to say, alas, poor Nancy or Tim.
Oh, Let's go look for a grothlet just so we can have it come here.
Yeah.
I suppose there's no sense in bringing it with us. I think that would just probably let her like track us or whatever, or nothing. Other would be. I can't see what the benefit would be.
And Trill, with that occultism check, also agrees that there's probably not much benefit in that. Like Trill gets the sense that this object is no longer an open line of communication to Belcora. That has been severed the moment that she saw that her agent here was no longer around.
If the bowl is now dormant,
Yes.
Mag will crush it with her hands like a soda can.
Hell yeah.
Super easy for Mag to do. This bowl is made from like mud from the swamp. This thing crumbles between her fingers. There's no resistance as Mag handily destroys the bowl.
Yeah, and she dumps the clay dust from this onto the ground and then wipes her hands on her bedroll.
Bedroll's back, baby.
Yeah. It's been
Mag
a
does
while.
go through them, doesn't she?
It's a messy campaign.
You're not wrong about that, friend.
So what are we doing next?
Well, I imagine. Oh, it's been a day of rest. Like we've rested a day, so Trill could use the locate spell for the
shit.
last. She could use the locate wand, from the Ruby of Lange to find the last fifth of Euravian's pendant.
You're half right and half wrong. It has not been a day of rest since you used that wand. You used that wand to locate the Sarglagon earlier today. About
That was
an hour
the
and a half
same
ago.
day? Jeez.
It's still only
been
like
so
10:30 a.m. It's so early.
Yeah, right now it's right around 11 o'clock in the morning, 11:09.
Time for 11s.
But
Oh.
you're not entirely wrong, Robin. You can, with a wand, overcharge it, casting the spell a second time in one day with a 50% chance that the wand will explode after
So-
casting the spell.
Now, so this is actually a fair thing to try because this is the fifth. So we only need it to work one more time.
There's also just that one door we haven't gone into.
Yeah, maybe we should just do that.
I mean, honestly, blowing up a wand maybe sounds like more fun to me, though. Not to.
Yeah.
Don't disagree.
But
Maybe
who
we all
knows if
stand
we
around
may
the corner
actually
this time.
need it in the future. Let's check out that door, and if the door doesn't work, then we'll use the wand. How's that?
I love that plan.
Yeah, I like that idea. Yeah,
Sounds like a plan.
good idea there, Ston. Okay, we try the door, then the wand.
And what that means is no matter what you do, you're going to have to move through this central passageway at the center of the floor.
That's convenient.
As you're advancing upon this central chamber, you see that there is a creature standing there watching guard. It's a giant spider around 5 feet tall, 8 long legs, covered in fine brown hairs. The spider hisses at you, attempting to scare you away. And as that happens, I'm going to roll a die. Okay. All of you realize that this is in fact not a spider. It is just Jack again. And she immediately realizes that her ruse has not worked. She pops out of this disguise of being a spider and just sort of flaps around in front of you for a second. She's like, "Oh, it's me again. So now I've done everything in my power to stop you today. So I'm going to go back to my room. See you guys around. And she flies down the hallway to the east and disappears from sight. The end.
Aw. Hey, Zach.
It's such a shame to not have to have another massive battle in this atrium every time we pass through it. Gosh, what a letdown.
I like Jack.
Me too.
Where to now, friends?
Jack's bedroom, right? Let's go hang out.
Yeah.
Oh god, unless it's gonna be really gross infernal stuff, like the Zabub's room back on like the second floor.
I'm
Infernal
picturing
tiger beat.
Infernal tiger. Is she? Do you think she collects pictures of Leo, of like devilish Leo or devilish?
It's just Bark and Buck in his forge.
Is it JTT?
It's just rocks. So you turn around the corner past this central chamber that's this large circular room with these like faint blue glimmers of void energy shimmering across the surface of the floor as you walk by. And there are 3 doors in front of you down here at the end of the hallway. There is a door with a sign written on it above.
We're not going in that one.
That says, "Do not disturb if you value your limbs in common, undercommon, and infernal." And it looks as though added recently, "No, seriously, don't come in here or else," in all 3 of those same languages. So that's the door immediately to your east, right in front of you.
It's so cryptic.
What does it mean?
And then there's also a door to the south and a door to the north. Both double doors. So what are you going to do?
Mag is interested in the door to the south because
Have we been in that one?
Belchorus.
It leads to the vaults, I think. I don't know if we've gone through it or not, though.
Yeah, no, I mean, directionally that checks out. I think that's kind of why, yeah, since we've seen, and that's where all the Belcora is happening, I think she'd be
Yeah, let's pop it open, though.
curious to open that one up.
Yeah.
Okay. So you advance to this door to the south and you push it open and you see Jacques inside and she's like,
Sex room.
"Hi guys. It's good to see you again." And this room is tall. This room is 30 feet tall.
Nope.
And there is
Wow.
transparent stone making up the entirety of the southern wall.
Oh.
And this transparent stone wall that stretches way, 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 way up high looks out onto that huge room filled with square, transparent pillars. And you can see the catwalk surrounding it. So you get the impression that perhaps this is some kind of a observation room for keeping an eye on the residents of the so-called Abomination vaults.
Jack, this is a pretty amazing view. What is this room for? Who put this together?
Oh, well, Belcora thought it would be very important to keep close watch on all of the various beasties that she conscripted into her attack squad. So, as Euravian was taking on the job of maintaining an army and building an army and so on, this room was a good place for a gal like me to spend hundreds and hundreds of years just looking at a bunch of nothing. So that's kind of what it's been used for.
Well, so everything that's in the room that you're watching, that's just all kind of an army that Belcora's put together?
Well, it's less the army than sort of the, what's the phrase? The cherry. Imagine a cake with 1,000,000 cherries on top. These are those cherries. The army, of course, was to be raised by Euravian himself. He just sort of inherited these more exotic creatures from Belcora when she, came up with this whole idea.
So they're like the commanders or just the leaders? Just trying to wrap my head around it.
Okay, so you see this thing down here?
And she points at a bizarre crab monster. She's
oh my
like,
gosh. Oh my
This
gosh,
thing-
it's amazing.
This thing sucks, right? Like this thing, it really ruins your day. And so what the idea
I can
was
see
that
that.
she would send it to Absalom to ruin their day, right? It's like a crab with an octopus coming out of its mouth. It's messed up,
Shek
right?
says Ao, whose voice is low and sort of threatening. Shek, did they go through the process?
What? No, the army went through the process. The Euravian would take the cast-off flesh warps from the Sugathis, the ones that the Sugathis didn't want anymore. Euravian would, train them and get them ready to march upon Absalom. So the ones that went through the process, that was more Euravian's purview. The more sort of intriguing creatures, that was not really the process. Like this guy here,
and she points at a huge lizard beast. And she's like,
yeah, right? That's not, it's bad. Do you get it?
That's just who he is. Yeah, okay. And Ao looks like visibly relieved without any real reason for that to be true.
Oh, wait, no, this guy did go through the process.
and she points at a drider midway through the chamber.
She's like, yeah, I think he went through it.
So so everything in those boxes are alive. How do you get into those boxes?
Oh gosh, that's far beyond anything I would be able to tell you. It seems really not easy. Let me think. I think if you wanted to, you could attempt to break a box, and I think then if you did that, maybe the box would blow up and kill the thing inside the box.
And she motions at one of these boxes that is like burned up in the northwestern corner of the room.
And she's like, yeah, I think at one point Euravian was mad and he just broke that box and it killed whatever was in there.
So there's no way to get them out either. That's interesting.
No, I mean, there's a way. It's just not a way that I know.
And she looks you up and down. She's like,
I don't think that you can do it either.
Oh, I want them to stay in there. No question.
But you're
Oh,
saying,
yeah, no.
you're saying they could be destroyed?
Right. Well, there's a chance that you destroy it, but then there's also let's call it a 12-ish% chance that it would pop out and kill you. So,
But we would be able to release it, and Ao's eyes are now locked on the one that underwent the process. We'd be able to release it from the horrors of what was done to it.
Oh, Striders seem
What-
pretty cool with what they go through.
That's what the process does to you, Trill. It tries to change your mind about the horrors they've inflicted.
okay, I don't want to yuck anybody's yum here, but this is a terrible idea. I mean, breaking open a box and getting killed by that crab with the octopus coming out of its mouth, that's not...
We're not
I
breaking
mean-
that box. We're just breaking that box. And Ao is pointing at the box
drider.
with the drider.
And under her breath, Mag mutters, I just wish she would communicate more explicitly.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
Pronouns,
you...
people. Pronouns.
I guess you could. You could do that.
Maybe we try that later.
Should we head to those other doors? Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm
I
not
don't
leaving
know, did
unless you make me a promise we're coming back for that drider. To release it from the damnation that's been inflicted upon it by others who wish it to be something other than what it is.
Damnation is something different, but we can get into damnation. I think the devils will have something to say about that. Or am I missing the point again? I'm missing the point again.
I miss Vadim, Ao says loud.
Amazing.
Hey, it seems like there's a pretty good chance that if we just try and break it, that the Drider would die anyway. So maybe we wait until we find
Great.
another
Let's
way.
do it.
Trill turns around and walks towards the door going to the north.
We got to find more grothlets to send in there to bash the cubes.
Just
Can't
the
imagine they're
one.
strong enough.
So is Ao going to that cube?
I think I was looking for someone to talk her out of this,
Yeah,
or promise
Mag-
to come back, even
Mag
if it's
is
not meant.
I mean, Mag started that interaction thinking, "Oh, we could go in and smash, and then there wouldn't be any more threat." And like smashing threats away is Mag's love language. But when when Jack is so explicit, that it could just release the thing immediately, Mag no longer thinks this is a good idea. So, Ao, if we can devise a way to destroy those things safely and shrewdly, I'll be back here faster than you are. But that day is not today.
Ao shrugs. The day's still young. It's only 11. We could be back here by like 1.
That's right. And the answer could be behind those doors. I don't know why Mag is treating Ao like a toddler. It might be because
Everything she's ever done.
what's happening in my life.
Ao relaxes like a little bit, and her eyes are still narrowed, and she's like, "Okay, we'll come back at 1."
So it's presently 11:30. So you have 90 minutes until it's D time.
Plenty of
Drider
time.
time.
Yeah, we have 90 minutes to
You can get through a whole encounter in 10, so.
to
Would that
distract.
So
make
there's-
this D-Day?
Yeah, that's right. Erastus the First is Galarian D-Day. You heard it here first. The
Norman D. Beach. It's all connected.
Wow.
Oh,
Wow.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
wow. That
I'm
was
just
like
stating facts.
mainline RMAT.
so you've got
We weren't
this
saying
door
our
to
wow for the reason you thought.
there's this door to the east that has a gug inside of it. You could open that one if you wanted to. But
Like
there's
we
also a
did
double
that
door to the
once.
north. Would you like to open that door instead?
Door to the north, not the Gug. No Gug door.
Okay. And what are you doing as you are exploring, please? David, what is Mag doing?
Yeah, Mag is scouting for enemies. She's listening for any signs of what could be on the other side of the door.
And Zoe, what is Ao up to?
Ao was listening and searching for traps.
Okay. Anybody else? I think that
Investigating.
okay.
Infernal search.
All right. So nobody sees anything out of the ordinary, and Mag hears nothing on the other side of the door as you push this door open. And you find yourselves in some sort of a guard chamber. This is a plain stone room that has double doors that you just stepped through, and another set of double doors leading off to the north. There are tiny carvings covering the east and the west walls. What do you
I
do?
think Isthan will be excited. Ooh, I love a good relief. And he'll go over and... Or maybe a freeze? I don't feel so great about Stella, though, you know?
Trill's kind of looking on the opposite wall at these carvings as well.
Ao investigates also.
Anyone who is investigating these carvings, please roll a d6.
2 for Isthan.
Okay?
That was a 1 for Trill.
Okay. And how about for Ao?
Also a 2.
Isthan and Ao find the same inscription. You're searching around the room and your noses meet at the same point. Scribbled onto the wall are the following words. The Motley Man equals hand perv. Trill
What does it mean?
finds something inscribed on the wall that says, "The Aranese sisters, fake hair hags."
Ooh.
Hmm.
The Furies. Fake hair hags.
David, is Mag searching this area? Is she looking at any inscriptions?
Yeah, I mean,
Can you roll a d6 for me,
Yeah.
dude?
Another one.
Mag also finds the inscription that says, "The Aranese sisters, fake hair hags."
Are those names that Mag recognizes?
You know that an Aranese is the kind of devil that Barkhambuck was. And you know that the Motley Man is a hand perv.
We do know that. Trill's looking around.
This feels like I'm in like a high school bathroom.
Like it feels like it's all smack talk, like carved into the walls.
Yeah. Has stall graffiti vibes for sure. I was honestly, my hesitation was just trying to imagine where Trill went to high school. I feel like it was like a magnet school. You know, it's like
Performing arts.
performing arts, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe some visual arts, like maybe some of maybe like Trill's first girlfriend was like really good at graffiti or whatever.
I'll say that the inscriptions here, unlike a bathroom, the inscriptions seem very particularly written out. Like it doesn't seem like multiple people wrote these inscriptions. It feels like they're organized, they're detailed, and they're comprehensive, maintained by one single creature.
Fascinating.
I wonder if whoever wrote this is still around here somewhere.
I wonder if they have the final piece of the key that we need.
Trill's eyes go towards the other set of double doors.
Okay. Anybody want to roll one more d6?
Yeah, we
Armat, you roll a
probably-
We
d6.
need
Roll a
some more.
d6, Armat.
Okay.
Roll one more d6. Don't roll a
Okay.
1 or a 2.
Twist my arm, why don't you? 5.
Nicely done, sir.
This one says that Istin finds says Euravian makes bad deals.
Ooh.
It seems as though somebody in this room has made comprehensive criticisms of everybody else on the floor with them.
Oh, this is 100%. What was her name?
Jack?
No.
Iagian?
Oh,
the bounty
Virginia.
hunter. It's Iagian's room.
I'm going to give Armat a hero point for saying the word Iagian first. Even though, David, you were heading straight towards it.
I
You have
honestly,
three
I
hero
thought
there's-
points. You
David
don't need
that
another one.
totally-
deserves it, really.
Goes along
Like-
with the vibe that I was getting of like high school smack talk.
Yes.
Totally.
That's right.
The Regina George of bathroom graffiti.
Yes.
Mine
That-
Slash
always said,
scorpion dragon.
yeah.
Realizing whose room this was like the it's been popcorn all along of this.
Ah,
Oh, it
that was so
her.
frustrating, guys. That was so... I was like, I've been too subtle. Like, I haven't communicated the thing correctly. Damn it.
Wish you more.
Oh, it was her.
What a
And that's what-
bitch.
And that is what you find in this room. There's a pair of double doors leading north in front of you.
Yeah, let's open this door.
So you push open this door and wander into a very intense room. If you walk through this double door and you walk up a set of stairs and you feel sweltering heat as you realize that you have walked into a room with a lava floor.
Oh, the floor is lava.
It is
The
in fact
floor-
lava.
Is lava. You're on a platform that has an altar on it. There's a stone slab here with half melted candles. And above the altar, you notice that water drips slowly from a crack in the ceiling. Just like dropping down,
From
hitting the altar,
dead hydras.
and dissipating into steam as it hits the stone. There are 6 heavy chains across this large round chamber from you. And those chains are connected to a wide metal disc that is hanging above this pool of lava. And that disc features a fiery pentagram on it. And you see that there are 2 creatures in here.
Couldn't just
They
be an
are.
empty room.
It's the fake hair sisters.
A pair of beautiful angels with long hair, and they have flames wreathed around them. You see that they're wearing black metal armor and tattered red satin sashes. There's a bit of a sneer on each of their ageless, beautiful faces. They are arguing with each other. And one of them, on the right, wears a necklace holding the final piece of the key that you are looking for. Like I said, they're arguing. They barely notice when you come into the room. One of them says,
"No, dear sister, thine continued insistence that the portal relies on the thinning boundary between planes sounds so stupid. It sounds as dumb now as it sounded the first time thou madest thine argument, lo, those centuries ago. Now, cease thine argument with me so that we may convert this summoning circle into a true portal to bridge the gap between this universe and our home permanently."
the other sister responds,
"As if, mine most idiotic sister. The thinning boundary between planes creates the substrate that the portal shall use to manifest into permanence. Thine argument that the relative thickness of the plane causes them to intercede with each other, and that this intercision forms the basis of the portal, makes thee sound as dumb as thou looks. If we are ever to change this mere summoning circle into a true portal, thou must actually put some effort into not being wrong and helping me do what must be done."
Sounds like what I said to you about French fries.
We're in
and
that
they
territory.
turn and they see the party, and one of them whispers,
"Silence, cow. Ignorant mortals hath crossed the boundary into our portal chamber."
the other one says,
"Yes, sister, I can see that. I don't have eyes after all."
they look at you, and they say,
"Mortals! What the fuck do thou want?"
and we will pick up from there next time.
Question, Lars.
Yeah,
What the fuck do we want?
I don't know. I've been trying to figure that out for 143
I just
episodes.
want the necklace she's wearing.
Yeah.
Roots of Ruin is a Tabletop Gold production produced under the Paizo Incorporated Community Use Policy, using trademarks and copyrights owned by Paizo that are covered under that policy. Paizo does not recognize, endorse, or sponsor this project in any way, and we are expressly prohibited from charging you to use or access this content. For more information about Paizo Inc. and Paizo products, visit paizo.com. All original characters and content in the Roots of Ruin are the property of Tabletop Gold, and all rights are reserved. We at Tabletop Gold would love to hear from you. On our website, tabletopgold.com, you can learn more about us and our shows, pick up great merch, and connect to the best online community in all of podcasting. Thanks for listening.